I'm frivolous and overspent. I look for love where I should not go. As extremely good as up is, the other end of the continuum is just as extreme. I'm unable to do the most menial of tasks, including eating, dressing, conversing. I'm lethargic and apathetic about everything except dying. In this sea of madness, what will be my barrier, my seawall to smooth out those waves? Is the answer in meds? I don't like the side effects like shaky hands, vanished libido, upset stomach, sleepiness, extreme hunger. I end up taking more meds as a countermeasure. Behavior modification can only do so much. When stuck in the throes of either end, it is difficult to think clearly and act responsibly. What is the answer? This next one is called The One That Got Away. He approached slowly, awkwardly, seemingly unused to the crutches. Please help me carry my bag, he asked. Coming from a family that believed in charity and oblivious to any danger, she complied. The friends ran on ahead. Candy night was more important than waiting for a soft-hearted goody two-shoes. He grabbed her from behind, groped at her child's body beneath the Raggedy Ann costume. His mouth bruised her lips. His insistent tongue gagged her. Terrified, she tried to pull away. He dropped his crutches and held on tight, belying his look of frailty. She searched for her friends, hoping for some help. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw Jerry laughing. He didn't see the struggle, only the kiss, and he vowed to try that on her later. He tightly squeezed her arm as they walked, but dropped his guard as he tried to kiss her again. She squirmed from his grasp and ran like the wind. This one's called Toothbrush. Alfie balances beanbags while pacing the hall, carrying dust creatures seeping out of the wall. The doctor comes around once a week in the fall, and they've locked up my toothbrush again. Joey sings, sometimes I feel like a motherless child. They strap me down eagled when I get too wild. Whatever I do, I must keep it mild, and they've locked up my toothbrush again. Showers are on Tuesdays and watched by Miss Nurse. We all sit quietly, take our pot, pills, and don't curse. The doctor holds sweet freedom. I try to converse, but they've locked up my toothbrush again. This one is about my cousin, who was dealing with bipolar as well, and her name is Chris. I saw my cousin today at the mental health center where she gets pills to make others think she is normal. The pills have convinced her, so she threw them away. She gave birth while straitjacketed in a white padded room. Her baby was given to a normal, without pills couple. Once again, the pills have convinced her. She wants her child back. She says to me, will you help me get my baby back? Please, take my phone number. I inspect the paper in her outstretched hand for contagiousness. Taking her hope, I quickly fold it up very small, trapping the madness, and I hide it deep in my purse. Later at home, I lay it on a remote corner of my dresser, face down. I need some water. Let's see. This one's a little break from the downer. This one's called Animals and Engines. It's a little bit down, but anyway. We were headed out to the theme park that day, a reward for getting chores done on time. We all climbed in the station wagon, deliciously anticipating tummy flips on the roller coaster. Mom turned over the engine, and that's when we heard it. A huge squall that sounded like a baby. Oh dear, Mom said, that must be the cat. Why would he climb up in the engine when it's 75 degrees out? He was alive but had many cuts from the fan. Gently picking him up, she took him inside and cleaned his wounds with love and tenderness, spraying Bactine on every nick and cut. He never crawled in the engine again. We had a tree farm out in the country where we grew spruce and white pine among rolling hills in Pike County. Often, many days would go by between visits there. Once in early spring, it had been a couple of weeks. We climbed in the work truck to go out in the fields. As we started the engine, we heard a huge squall, just like the cat of old. Opening the hood, we saw a raccoon mama and her babies. She had built a nest behind the radiator, where they were comfortably nested, never knowing the danger. They paid the ultimate price for the warmth. Fireball, my kitty, was here on my butt. Fireball, my kitty, never went outside. Suddenly, he acted interested, so I put him on a leash and attached it to my flagpole. He got so scared, he pulled that flagpole right off the front of the house. Before I could get to him, he was madly tearing back and forth from the front yard to the backyard, dragging the flagpole with him, howling all the way. He started across the driveway, but the neighbor's dog barked. This only scared him more, so he ducked under my car and scrambled up. I opened the hood and saw him squeezed between the carburetor and the washing fluid, still attached to the flagpole. Poor thing licked grease off his fur for days. This one is called hoarding. What a lot of times with depression and bipolar goes this disorder of hoarding, thinking that you had to keep everything just in case you might need it someday. This takes on a different connotation, though, when I'm hoarding. You'll see. My backup plan for my final release. When a prescription changes, I keep all the leftovers. And if a refill is available, I buy it and stash it too. These pills are sacred. Do not touch them. I never know when I will need them, but I am sure that I will. I know I have to time the refills just right, so the pharmacist will give me my meds and not question me. I mourn for the hundreds of pills my daughter found and discarded. These pills are sacred. Do not touch them. I never know when I will need them, but I am sure that I will. I have used part of the stash when life became too unbearable. I never took the whole stash because I was afraid I would just throw it up and they would be lost to me forever. I hope that someday I will find the right balance and quietly check out. These pills are sacred. Do not touch them. I never know when I will need them, but I am sure that I will. When I do check out, I hope it will be like the song of Sarah McLachlan, "In the arms of the angels may you find some comfort here." I don't wish to hurt anymore, just to be released from my inner hell. These pills are sacred. Do not touch them. I never know when I will need them, but I am sure that I will. Today, I have decided that suicide is no longer an option. I feel I have committed treason. It was my security blanket, my comforter. I liked knowing I could have the escape when I truly needed it. Even so, I will honor my commitment. Excuse me. This one is called Addiction, but it's not what you think. It's more fun. At school, I add 10 minutes to my hike from the sea lot to walk through a grove of pine trees. I smell them many steps before I reach them. It's the smell of Christmas, country, lumberyards and pallets, hardware stores and new houses. Late in the evening, I drive past a construction site. Carpenters have just put in the floor joists, so most of the house is still lumber, stacked in the yard. I walk around the wood piles, trying to get a whiff. I see an opening, just large enough to fit my head. Closing my eyes, I inhale. Several small sniffs, then one long snort. I hold it deep in my lungs. Suddenly, I am back in Navarre, at the house we moved into when I was 10. I remember I see the piles of lumber that will be my bedroom. I remember chocolate chip cookies, and then my daddy carried me to bed after watching The Wizard of Oz. I reluctantly remove my head from the lumber pile and step back. The vision is gone, but not the feelings. I drive off, comforted. Sometimes when things are bad, I drive south on Interstate 77 to the place after the 18th Street Bridge and just before the Route 39 exit. The Inga Pallet Factory stores mounds of sawdust and wood chips beside the highway. Steam rises from the peaks like the shimmer of asphalt on a hot summer day. Exhaust from the smokestack gets me high. Other days I drive to Builder Square, walking past the cartons of ceiling fans and shiny aluminum sheeting, pretending I am looking for something, a 5/8-inch washer or perhaps an electronic timer. All I really need is a fix, and I know just where to get it. I approach the aisle of lumber with caution. I look over my shoulder a time or two. My pulse quickens. There they are, piled almost to the ceiling, 2x4s, 2x10s, and smaller piles of 4x4s. The lengths vary and are painted red or green on each end to signify their lumberyard origins. The newels stand on edge, shapely and inviting. I amble past them, fingertips caressing the finely sanded pieces. I inspect the stack of 2x4s until Mr. Do-It-Yourselfer wanders off to another aisle. I clamber up the ladder to the second level. I squeeze between a stack from Bailey Lumber and another from Yoder's. I sit down and arrange the front pieces as a camouflage. As I lie back, I close my eyes and drink in the sweet pine scent.